awards to the 3 Australian playwrights who are here in person today, which is very exciting. Each of them I've asked in advance to talk a little bit about, in the same way, why they were attracted to the competition and how they came to realise the theme. So, they have certificates, and we're going in alphabetical order of surname. So I'd like to welcome and congratulate Jennifer Beasley for her play Rocky's Birthday Wish. Would you like to speak and then we'll take a photo? Yes. I'll give it back to you.
Had to rewrite this because I'm a writer. It's just all about the rewrite. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name's Jennifer Beasley. I'd firstly like to thank the committee and the adjudicators of the Malvern Theatre Company for choosing my play, Rocky's Birthday Wish, as one of the winners of the short play writing competition for 2023, which will actually be done next year. I feel both honoured and delighted that my play has been selected. I've always been passionate about stage plays, but I've started last year my Master of Script Writing at the and Screenwriting, screenwriting at the VCA, which is Melbourne University, and this year I have the wonderful pleasure of doing many rewrites of my comedy series, so I'm so looking forward for that to come on. I was exposed to other students who are also playwrights and actors who are doing the screenwriting course, and they've said to me, well, you should just expand your vision and go out there and do more. We're sure that you can write plays. So I saw this come up on my feed in Facebook, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll just do it. I just do a deep dive, and then I just found it just came really, really quickly, and I just found I just felt really passionate about it, and I just think I've found my career. Yes, I am older. I've never won anything in my entire life. I only started writing when I did my BA at Curtin, and then I started doing a big shift from creative writing into screenwriting, and then I just went, ooh, look, this is great, I'm just going to do this. So I'm just not like all these other people who've won something. This is like my first thing, so thank you very much. What really attracted to me about this was, again, you had some really good parameters. Absolutely fantastic. As you said, since I did that, I went and I've written in one other competition, and it's so good to know that this is what you've got and that's it. And you have to have, an older person, a younger person. But that also really allowed me to just open my mind up. And I found that when I wanted to do this story, I actually got quite a good twist on it. I was inspired by this story by my lovely daughter Ella, who I brought along today, and when I was seeking this story to go with this theme of intergenerational conversations, I also got a really good theme going on here about love and loss. We'd just come back from seeing my 97-year-old mother in an aged care residency, and it was a bittersweet to see Mum there, as her body's present, but her mind was preparing to leave, unravelling like cotton on a spool. When we got back home, Ella was hugging her dog Rosanna, and she said to me, I don't want Rosanna to die. I replied that Rosanna wouldn't die for many years yet, but I'd missed what my daughter was really saying. I wasn't seeing what she was trying to tell me, just as my daughter couldn't see what I was trying to say, or the fact that we both didn't want to accept the decline of my mother. So when I started to write Rocky's Birthday Wish, the theme of the play intertwines loss and love through intergenerational conversations, and the girl Maya is blind, and she comes in with a seeing eye dog, and she has quite a few things that she has to deal with, and then her grandfather turns up, and we learn that the play will tell us that we never truly lose anyone we love because we remember them here and remember them here. Thank you.
we've all died on stage. Sorry, I mean joke. Alrighty, and the next winner is Rhiannon Berkeley, and she has written a play called Keep It Mum. So congratulations.
That's all right.
You okay?
Us pocket-sized people are used to hiding behind things.
Well, I'll go there, if you don't mind.
Thank you. I'm thrilled that a standalone scene from my broader play, Keep It Mum, that I've been working on for many years, has been selected. And this scene began as a study into intergenerational comedy during my Bachelor of Performing Arts with honours back in 2010. I coupled a teenage son and his mother at the beginning of their journey, exploring his first love and also her new love. The play explores, I aim to use tooth-grittingly familiar language and content that could have been pulled from real life. The play explores love and the evolving landscape of relationships between parents and children as they grow up and they grow old together. How we as humans clumsily navigate ageing, conversations about whom should advise whom on the use of condoms and when you should just keep it mum. Intergenerational conversations became departure points, brimming with humour and angst and pathos that could begin in conflict and result in heartfelt growth and understanding. I fell in love with this mother and son duo of characters, but I put them to one side whilst working on my honours project, another play, Lips, which was a beautiful, grotesque, feminist poetic, so quite different. I wrote and directed one iteration of that, and in one iteration performed. There was a performance at the Collingwood Underground Arts Park, the car park under the Hoddle Street flats, and then in the Owl and the Cat Theatre in Richmond. I've managed Sausage Dog Productions, a children's company that toured around parts of Australia, directed in the Northern Theatre's collaboration with the U3A in the Seniors Festival, and went on to direct a winning play in the Melbourne Short and Sweet Festival. This was called Feather by Pamela Weston. And I was really beautifully grateful that Pamela took me on as a mentor and a friend, and we sort of became pen pals because we live in different parts of Australia. And she inspired me to begin once again imbibing my storytelling with love and comedy. And that's when I knew I was ready to re-begin the writing of Keep It Mum around 2016 and really bring this play to life properly. It's still a work in progress, but it's close. So I'm currently the company manager with the touring Highway 1 Theatre Company, but a storyteller at heart. And that's why this opportunity really overjoys me to sort of come back to my heartland, so to speak, and draw upon stories that, again, I set in a place where I grew up, in the city of Frankston, in a time that was quite an interesting time period, in the sort of rise and fall of the serial killer of the early 90s to the I Heart Frankston campaign, and then down towards the sculptures on the Peninsula Freeway and its evolution as a community, and how that also influenced the people living within it, their fears, their loves, and how those generations interacted with each other. So I hope that this will be the beginning of Keep It Mum's story, which I dedicate to my family, who have a great appreciation for the ridiculous and that real life is often stranger than fiction.
And the third winner is Danielle Gibbons for her play Who Have You, in inverted commas, Been, spelled with an A.
I probably don't need this. I'll just...
Yeah, because we're recording it quietly through the microphone.
Okay.
My name's Danny. I have been writing for my whole life, but writing plays for probably about the last 10, 11 years. And I've got my own production company. I write things that are about social growth for children and for adults, and I've had things that have been in festivals such as Midsummer, the Fringe Festival, and even a premiere event of Midsummer, but also just put on in the Underground Theatre as well, and a few other little places. It's always fun to write, and as a writer, I think you get to unpack a lot of your own personal stuff and also things you've experienced and seen through the years. So that's why when I write, there's always different themes, and I try and do all different genres. There's dark sort of things and also very much comedies, musicals, whatever's going on in the mind at the moment, which is why I really loved having the prompts as well. I know a lot of people have said it, but I really liked having them because there's so many things you can write about, and being able to say, okay, that's what you're writing about and that's what you have to do is like excellent. And I'll just narrow that down a little bit. So I looked at the prompts as the concept of intergenerational conversations as kind of being in the middle generation, I guess, myself in my 40s. I sort of have a lot of interesting conversations in that parent, child of, and also parent of, both almost adult and older adult. So I've kind of meshed a lot of that in together with my two characters. I also have a third character in the play who is, because I technically didn't follow the brief, so I added a third character to make sure that it was all, there are intergenerational conversations along the way, but basically am I allowed to say what the premise is? Oh. My thoughts on it were conversations between people of different ages. Why do they have to be different people? So mine is about a conversation with yourself at a different age. So, and it's a comedy, but it's got a little bit of depth to it in there as well. So that's the way I looked at it. Yeah, thanks.
So again, very exciting to hear from the playwrights. Congratulations to all the winners. Well deserved. Out of 110, you're our top 8. And that's quite remarkable. And as I say, if we can move forward with this project, I think it's going to be very exciting, both for you, we hope, and for the company in general. Hi, so we're meeting with Seb from the UK, who's one of our winning playwrights in the competition that we've just run at Malvern called Intergenerational Conversations. So firstly, congratulations, Seb. Well done.
Thank you.
And we'd be interested to know what attracted you to the competition. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, your background and so on?
Sure. I'm a sort of, well, like we wouldn't say like professional playwright because I'm not like making a living by it, but I trying to make a living by it, and I write consistently. I just finished a master's in playwriting at the Central School of Speech and Drama in London, and I've been writing a lot of short plays and whatnot, and I'm constantly trawling through all of these different like wonderful like playwright blogs and things like that show these different opportunities, and I saw yours, and I had some stuff in the like psychological vault that I thought I could unleash on you.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's great. In terms of how you realised the theme of intergenerational conversations, we were just talking about a few things before we started this recording. Can you explain some of the tensions, perhaps not give the plot away totally, but what have you set up in terms of intergenerational conflict or conversations in your play?
Sure. So this is a play about a meeting between a woman who is, you know, a young adult, like about 25, and her stepfather, and it's about, in lots of different ways, about settling a debt. And it was something that I was quite interested in because there's plenty of talk about like your responsibility to your children and the older generation's responsibility. But I was interested in the thought of the younger generation's responsibility, and specifically like a child's responsibility to their parent. And what do we owe to each other, and what happens when you owe a debt that you can't pay back, is kind of the, you know, the thing that was playing around in my head when I was writing this.
Yeah, thanks for that explanation. And well, several of us at the theatre have read the play, including me, and I was fascinated by the way that plays out in the play. So I think it's been realised very well, and in a way that will allow us to move forward with our project, which is mentoring younger people into theatre, but also presenting quality theatre, original theatre. And as you know, we're planning to put this on YouTube eventually, hopefully in a project that we're going to run in 2024. So thanks, Seb. Thanks for entering it, and congratulations on your work.
Oh, no, thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing what you do with it.
Hey everyone, my name is Adam. Thank you so much for selecting my script, One Night Stand. I'm so sorry I can't be there with you today to celebrate all the other winners and also introduce season 2023, which looks really, really amazing. I'd like to thank the City of Stonington for supporting the festival, and also all the amazing volunteers that do so much hard work behind the scenes and in front of the scenes to bring not only festivals but also all the great plays that you've got to life. I've been lucky enough to have my plays produced off the West End, off Broadway, and quite often off in the middle of nowhere. And throughout all that, my plays have won 48 awards, but really I'm just a tiny piece of that. That's all down to some great actors, some amazing producers and directors, and again, volunteers. And that's what I love about theatre. It's all about the collaboration, and I'm looking forward to the collaboration of One Night Stand. The story is about three women. One's in their 20s, one is in their 30s, and one's in their 40s. And they all go out on a date with Stan and experience the same date, but see things very differently. So it's all about those intergenerational differences that come up. Look, I'm really excited to have a play produced by the theatre. I know that you're producing the third act by Emma Wood, a fantastic writer, and also just a really great lineup throughout the year. Hey, have a really fantastic night, a really successful 2023, and I'm really looking forward to 2024 when I get to see One Night Stand.
Welcome, Vicky Kirstler. I hope I've got the pronunciation of your name correct, who's from the States. And Vicky is one of the 8 winners of our playwriting competition. Her play is called Gordon's Fairy Grandmother. And Vicky, firstly, just to ask you how you found out about the competition and what your background is as a playwright, or any other information about yourself you'd like to share.
I found out about the competition from an online listing for New York City playwrights. I go to that regularly to see what theaters are interested in producing new plays. And I've written plays in recent years. I find it great fun, and I'm always up for different challenges.
Okay. Great. And did you find the prompts we gave you particularly useful?
Yes. Most playwright opportunities give you wide latitude to write on whatever subject you want. But I appreciated the prompts because it makes it more of a challenge to figure out how you can be original about this particular topic. And so not just the intergenerational conversations, but the setting. It had to be in a cafe. And I found that intriguing because when you go to a coffee shop, there's often a problem in that you go get if you go to the kind like a Starbucks where you go up to the counter and get your coffee and your pastry, and then there may be a problem because you don't know if you're going to have a seat available. And that adds tension to the situation, and tension and a problem are always good in a play. So at the beginning of the play, I used that problem to get things going.
Yeah, fantastic. We were hoping that it would serve many purposes in obviously giving you prompts, but also in terms of us staging short plays in a kind of festival atmosphere. Constraining, in particular, the setting was important for us to make it achievable, I suppose. So you've got two characters in your play. One's Gordon, a teenager, and he does indeed invite an older woman to come and sit with him. Without giving the whole plot away, can you explain what the tension is, what evolves through the play in terms of their relationship?
Well, at first, he's kind of ignoring her. He's obviously distracted by something, and then she perhaps she's a bit lonely. She wants to engage and perhaps find out what he's thinking about. I guess my own particular inclination, just when I'm thinking about intergenerational conversations, is that when you're talking to another person, you shouldn't put too much weight on your differences, like the fact that you might be from a different generation. You should just talk to other people as if they are people, period. And maybe that's what they did after a while.
Beautiful philosophy, and we won't give away what happens in the end, but I think people can imagine from the title that there's a fairy godmother in there, and they stereotypically do certain things, but this may not be the case in your play. So it was lovely talking to you, and once again, congratulations on your win, and we hope we can do justice to your play.
Well, thank you. I'm gratified that the Malvern Theatre Company found it interesting.
Hi, so I'm talking with Hank Kimmel from the States, and we're talking about his play, The Last Seat in a Crowded Cafe, which is one of the winners of our competition called Intergenerational Conversation. So firstly, congratulations, Hank, on winning.
Great, thank you. It's real exciting for me. Appreciate it.
So perhaps you can tell us a little bit about yourself and why you were attracted to the competition.
Well, my name's Hank Kimmel. I'm a playwright. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. I'm a founding member of a group called Working Title Playwrights, which develops playwrights and new plays. And I'm also involved with the Alliance for Jewish Theatre, which is an international organization which connects theatre artists all over the world. We do have a member in New Zealand. We're looking for folks in Australia, so if I can put in a plug for that. I do a lot of writing, prompt writing. If your writers may be familiar with Julia Cameron's 3 morning pages, where you write 3 pages every day, no matter what. And often I'm moaning about my day job as a mediator, but I'm used to writing in prompts. And what attracted me to this one is constrained in the sense it takes place in a cafe, and you have, I did laugh because it said one younger and one older character, and the older character was 40 plus. I might have said that to me. That might have been the younger character in another one of my plays. But I thought there was a nice blend of that, between the giving some room to roam in that as well. I was actually had another play. There's a competition that's supposed to take place in a waiting room, and I've been banging around an idea for that for 2 or 3 months and just got nowhere. So I think having the characters there really spoke to me very, very much on that. And it's in conversation, and I realized, oh gosh, it's got to be more than 2 people talking, and that's where I got the idea of a crowded cafe and a last seat. So there's actually some kind of conflict and something that's got to be resolved by the end.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that explanation. And you've got 3 characters in your play, one of whom has a slightly minor but pivotal role. So just don't give away the plot to us, but in terms of the conflict, the tension between Tina and Martin, it's set up as a physical conflict initially. Can you just explain that briefly?
Between 2 of them, I think also too is I always appreciate conflicts in plays. I think plays work better to me where there's a dilemma more than a problem. So the problem isn't who's going to get the seat. The dilemma is, okay, here's a young woman, here's an old man, who was here first. So I think in some ways they're trying to be honorable people doing this, and you have a third person sitting there who's completely oblivious to them, and in some ways their role is more clear to that too, and is so I think in that sense that's what I see. They're actually collaborating in the moment. I think that's what we do a lot as humans. We're trying to navigate this world together, even when we just drive on a road. I mean, I'm always amazed too. I live in Atlanta. There's a lot of traffic. For as much as people follow each other and aggravate that, there's a real order and structure to how things work on this. So we all have to kind of find the rules of the game, but what happens if they're not absolutely clear? So I found myself gravitating toward that and putting a third character there who actually has some power but is oblivious to this and how they respond to the other 2 characters.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you again for that explanation. And bit topical, but Hank is or has been a tennis coach, is that right?
Yes, tennis coach, player, yes.
And happens to be following the Australian Open as well, best he can at the moment. So hope you enjoy the rest of the tennis, and thanks for talking with us. And once again, congratulations on the win.
If there are any Australian tennis fans out there, or old time too, I played at Port Washington Tennis Academy where Harry Hopman was the coach, and this is really obscure, but my first tennis coach was a great Australian player named Warren Woodcock. So if there are any old timers out there, that may mean something. If not, just delete that part from the end here.
Fantastic connection to Down Under. Okay, thanks a lot, Hank. So, hi again. I'm talking with Laura Valpy, and we're talking about her play, To Go or Not to Go, which one is one of the 8 winners in our competition that we've run at Malvern around the theme of intergenerational conversations. So we've been talking beforehand, and just to fill you in a little bit of Laura's background, she's from an improv background, professional actor, coming from the west coast of the States and moving to New York City, the Big Apple. So Laura, can you perhaps explain why you were attracted to entering this competition, and a bit about how you came to be a playwright from your background?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the answer to both of those questions is a little bit the same. Working as an actor and then becoming a parent, that kind of changed my whole view on what I was doing with my life. And after my second child was born, I was really itching to continue to be creative, and yet I couldn't quite go out for all the same acting jobs I used to go to. So I started writing. And as I was writing, everything seemed to be somehow parenting themed. And while my first couple were, really bogged down with early parenting days, which is what I was going through with the babies and the toddlers and all that, I started hearing my mom's voice and recognizing that I had that relationship, that I'm a grown child now. And, what happens to that relationship as not only the children grow, but as parents grow as well.
Yeah.
So that was one of the main inspirations for To Go or Not to Go.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And you also mentioned that your parent-in-law, a mother-in-law, is it right, who resides
Yes,
in
that's
New York
right.
City?
That's
played
right.
an integral
Right across the street. Right across the street. My mother-in-law is in the building right across the
sounds
way.
like a sitcom, a very old sitcom.
You have no idea. And in fact, if I point that way, right across Central Park is the Guggenheim Museum, which is one of is mentioned in this play.
The Guggenheim's role in the play?
Absolutely. So when my son was very little, he started listening to the music of Peter and the Wolf, and he loved the music. And then my mother-in-law got him the book to read along while listening. And then she found out that every year at the Guggenheim, they do a special performance, of Peter and the Wolf with some celebrity, cameos and whatnot. And so she took him, and they had a great time, and it became this, became that like family. It will always be that solid family memory of something that they did together, grandmother and grandson. And so I was very much inspired by that as sort of the setting for this character, the mother character who is going through these changes as a parent.
Yeah, and it really comes out in the play. We're running out of time now, but what I was saying to Laura before is your play is a little different from many of the others we read in that it's not conflict resolution necessarily. It's a situation which evolves, and in a very positive, life-affirming way, I think. So,
That's great.
So congratulations once again on your win, and we look forward to working with the play into the future. And
thank you so much.
It's
quite an honor. Yes, absolutely. This is just so cool to be cross-continental. It's just very cool.
Yeah, that's exciting for us too.